Already, you guys, there's people in the house. Hey, Kirk and Allison. Good to see you guys. And Slim Pickens. Happy Friday. Thank you so much for joining. Oh my goodness. I'm overwhelmed. This is wonderful. And I'm gonna get some music started as everyone is landing. And I would love to know if City Rock Hounding Nick, welcome. Blasting everybody out of here. Sonia, Ken, of course, good to see you. I should, oh, here we go. There, my magic mirror. Wait, that way you guys can see yourselves. Going down in eternity. Oh, look at fingerprints. I bet there's not some on that side. It's better. All right. If anybody recognizes why I brought the mirror out, then I'm dating all of us. Hey, Steve. Thanks for coming by. The infinity loop. Yes, indeed. Cooler than the room of rompers. I'm getting set up here so that we can roll out, but I don't know if you read the description. Does anybody read descriptions for these? I figured that we'd go through some opals, and I've got some emeralds maybe to put on the bar, and Jackie is in the house, and I've been doing some carving in the carving station outside. It's not as lovely outside today as it has been. The sun has been shining and we've been having some really warm temperatures. So, well, for the Oregon coast anyway. So I've been enjoying that, and that means working outside carving. Hey, Jim, good to see you. And Bob, good evening. Thanks for joining us, you guys. So actually, you can see part of my carving station very dimly. Like my finger would be touching the stool of my mobile carving station. There's a vise right there. And then actually part of it is right there behind me on the stool. I love stools because they're perfect mobile stations. Like I'll put my jewelry bench pin on that, take it outside. This I can do really quick because people are probably still landing in the chat. So let me move my tea and my drink. I hope everybody's got your evening beverages on. Oh, Lisa made it. Hey, Lisa, I need my director. my director of scenery and tangents. Christy, nice to see you. Thank you for coming. So cheers, everyone. Cheers and Prost and Skull and Steinkern. All the good. So I was moving this stuff. So she is here. So this is a block and it's on, yet another stool. There's a stool right there holding my my shop equipment, my two pendulum rotary situations. One is a Dremel and the other one is a Fordham. And cheers. Water for you tonight. Okay. I have tea and a drink, so we're all hydrating. So all of this stuff works around my entire studio, but also, hey, Soul, nice to see you. Thank you for joining us. So all that stuff can move around. I mean, some people have casters. There's a carpet in here, so instead of a carpet, I just actually move this stuff around. And then, of course, we all have rocks, so just put something heavy on it if you don't want it to tip over like my my pendulum tree there. So I have a block of wood that I take outside, and this is actually a high-tech diamond dripper, and I'll put it like so. And then I run, I like to use my Dremel rotary tool as opposed to my Fordham because it's cheaper and it's very good for heavy lifting. And so I don't mind if the handpiece dies or anything like that because it's abundantly more replaceable than the Fordham. And I can work outside with it and do wet carving. And so drip system, something to hold it above where I want to work. And then I actually have my jewelry right here. You guys probably, if anybody's in construction, they probably recognize what that is. And so it came like with a nice little groove where I've got, you know, the cutoff wheels to get started. I'm going into this because we're going to look at some rough opal, and that's actually where I process it, is like right out there on that stool. And then I don't know if you guys, some of you probably do this kind of work and then others don't. But these are Nova points. And once I'm done with, like, this cut off as a diamond, and then it also serves as a mini flat lap. And so when I'm making the bottoms of my cabs and that sort of thing, or, you know, carvings don't always have to have like a cab bottom, especially if you're the jeweler and you're going to be the one setting it. And then, you know, of course, the diamond burrs and Nova points, and boom, you've got a recipe for carved stones and or processing your opals. So how many of you guys have a pile of opals at home that are waiting to get processed? Like many or same could be said for any of your small fossils, like the shells that I like to do, and it works with agates and everything on softer than that. Hey Jared, thanks for coming by. And so I know that I suspect a fair number of you guys do have piles of rocks of some sort or another. They're fun to take out and play with. And carving is Slim has just one, and most one opal. You got more turquoise. I can't wait you guys saw my turquoise a few weeks ago, and I can't wait to take it out there and do some carving on some of the pieces that seem like more carvers than they are cabbers or more specimen style pieces. So Ken has some Wello hanging out. That should be good. Actually, I should be looking at the big one. Okay. So, and also I need to mute myself. Okay, I missed that Jeff has entered the house. Jackie has some little jars of opals to play with. And, okay, who is that just went by? Christy has one rough opal that she's keeping as a specimen. So those of you who are interested in maybe incorporating your the rough into a carving project, I'll have a little information about that tonight, because that's what we're doing. You did prep your first in Matrix. Whoa, that went too fast. Okay, I'm gonna look at this one then. So Ken was trying to say that he prepped his first in Matrix beryl emerald ever not long ago, and you should see that at some point. Actually, well, Ken, I'm taking you up on that. Was that a threat that you were going to share it with us? Because of course there's the Discord, so we would love to see it. You know that we would. Currently, Rock County Jared would love to hear why I have both a Dremel and a Fordham. Which one do I pick to use for what? I will definitely answer that question. And Jeff is just saying hi. Okay. So Jared, and all, why would you have multiples? Before I could afford a Fordham, which is two separate words there, afford a Fordham, I used the rotary tools, because the basic hardware style rotary tool, like the Dremel there in the background. And so someone else is going to be sharing this on their channel soon as well. All right. Cool. Then it's a party. The more the merrier, the wealth of information it forges on, with us or without us. And so at any rate, I got used to using the regular rotary tools. I always like using a flex shaft with my rotary tools, so they hang like a pendulum, like that one. Easier on the wrist and hand for, carpal tunnel and all that kind of stuff. Well, I was using the Dremel for both, or any brand of rotary tool, because I went through several different kinds. And I was using it for jewelry. I was using it for carving. I was even using it for shaping regular cabochons before I got my flat lap. It was a real all-purpose tool. I've carved wood. I've done all sorts of things. I absolutely love a rotary tool. I mean, if I had to choose 5 tools to live with, in perpetuity, a rotary tool would definitely be one of them. So I have found that I have a penchant for burning them out. Of course, you can replace your brushes, but then there's usually at some point, it's absolutely totin'. There's no more. Hey, it's Kyle. Good to see you, man. It's been such a long time. And so they are both rotary tools. Yes, they are both just rotary tools. But I think that a lot of times in at least the jewelry industry, they call a Fordham style a motor. And so it's a pendant motor that is to do your bidding, whereas the Dremel is a specific rotary oriented tool. The Fordham that has a lot of different attachment possibilities. Kyle the lurker. Is there something about Kyle? I don't know. Probably lots of things actually, but so back to the reason why to use them for different things. Jeff, they're both rotary tools, but they can have different strengths. The Fordham is actually stronger as a motor. And hey, Catfish, good to see ya. And so the Dremel, it kind of fell into the niche of Hey 775, of being my indoor-outdoor heavy lifter, just because I can afford to replace it when I did ruin a handpiece on my Fordham, and it was extremely expensive. I decided to get it fixed, but it's kind of like the difference between getting a valve job on a Ducati or a Honda, So the Dremel is my Honda and the Fordham is more the Ducati. And so I have a quick change handpiece in my Fordham, and I use it for jewelry almost exclusively. And so all of it is dry. There is no drip or wet introduced into it. And I have a foot pedal for it, and so all of it is for very precise stuff, and so I take really good care of it. I do all of the service that it's supposed to, take it off and re-lube the flex shaft and all the things to take really good care of it so that it lasts, and it's very strong, and it does a wonderful thing. Hey, Gems of Hope, good to see you. And so there's the difference for me is that I need the Fordham more for my business, and the Dremel is a workhorse that will carve rock and wood and anything, as you've seen on Theo's channel. I don't know if you guys have seen the name of the bit holder just spaced my mind. So if somebody can remember the cullet, there's an adjustable one where you screw it down and it just closes, kind of like what you'd have on your regular drill. It just closes around whatever bit, so you don't have to have a specific collet for the specific bit that you want to use. You can use any width up to a certain degree and up to a certain minimum. Collet, yeah. High five, Ken, thanks. In that regard, I have 2 tools that have the capability of each other, but I use them for very different things. Quick release handpiece, yeah, for my Fordham. I wonder if, let's see, how long is it? This bad boy is the coolest thing ever. I need a hammer. Yeah, and so you can buy the hammer handpiece for this bad boy too. But this quick release, oh, what? See? And then you put in the next one. So for jewelry, when I'm doing the polishing, say, I cruise through, like, this is actually one of the polishers like for ring, and it's the pink, and they're kind of they're set up the same way as the Nova points, where you have the different colors, of course, for the different grits. And I'll go through the course through fine rather quickly, and I just want to like bang bang bang, and so it's nice because it'll afford me that kind of capability. And so they definitely serve different purposes, and yet there's like sometimes there's one in each hand. So um rotary tools, oh my gosh, big huge tangent. We went down the coast also. How many of you guys have gone down the Pacific Coast Highway? And did you go the full length of the Pacific Coast Highway? Have you been all the way down to Baja? Have you been all the way up to, I guess, does it end in Washington? I don't even know. I haven't cruised through Washington very much. A Dremel and a Fordham. Yeah, so Gems of Hope, as others are answering the question, and I would love to hear from everybody as far as that's concerned. And you can leave it in the comments if you're not a chatter. But I would probably take even 2 Dremels, or I'd love to have 2 Fordhams, or like any combination. It's just nice to have one that's set up for gritty nastiness and one that is absolutely pristine and ready to do all the clean work. And so I'm really if I am picky about anything, in chaos land that I have here, it's how grit free things stay. Like, it would be a disaster if I introduced some of the grit from one thing onto some, like the lapidary, particularly the faceting machine. And so I just missed. Okay, Ken's done the Olympic Peninsula down to about Salem, which Salem would be on the 5. So that's quasi Pacific. Although 101, like 101 is just amazing, and I keep on reminding myself this, even though I live here. It's incredible to go up or down the coast. It's almost like every single time it's like the first time. Boy, that sounds like lyrics to a song or something. It's on Soul's bucket list. And of course, Lisa, here to California, which is such a beautiful, hey, Delilah, such a beautiful and incredibly moving drive. So we just went from, Gems of Hope, graduated from Half Moon Bay High School. We were just almost getting into that, actually, I think, in another chat, like, hey, homie. And so Santa Cruz to San Francisco. Yeah. I'm a Valley, so Cupertino, but we spent a lot of time on the coast adjacent. So of course, Half Moon Bay was my dad's gem, which this area that I moved to reminds me so much of Half Moon Bay. It's incredible, which I really liked. And my mom's jam was always going like to a sunnier place, and so she was always trying for Santa Cruz, having some sun, or Monterey, Carmel, that sort of thing. But the Coast Highway here, from central to southern coast, we just did, and I was hanging out the window with my tongue a-lapping. It was so good. Yeah. So Ken just said that he's not into, or he hates driving on scenic roads like that. I just want to rubberneck and everything, and I can't because you're driving. So I love not driving. So I don't. Steve loves driving. It's a really good setup that we have. So I'm hanging out the window, and I just wanted to mention really quick, the picture that was the thumbnail for this live stream is looking south from Port Orford, and it's it is, the whole coastline looks like it could be another country. You know, the jagged basalt spires, and yes, Jackie, Ken needs a driver. And hey, Blind Squirrel Rocks, yelling stop every half mile or so, exactly. And Allison has been to the ocean once, down by Tillamook. Sweet. It stinks and is scary big. Okay, you know what? That's hilarious. Every time we come home from the desert, I love the smell of the desert because that used to be home, Arizona, and the sage and the heat that you know, you can just smell the heat cooking everything, so visceral. And then I come home and that smell that you were talking about not liking, I know I'm home again because of that, the ocean smell. And it is big, and if it's not daunting, there might be something that you're missing, because it's never also lost on me anyway that this is that is an expansive frontier that is so massive, looking all the way to the horizon and seeing nothing. And Olympia at low tide is the worst smell ever. KFC is because there's a KFC there too. Oh my gosh, that's hilarious. Small portion of Canada. I need to go up to Canada, and I need to do the rest of the Washington coast and everything also through Washington. It's way too undone. And Allison agrees of the amazingness. Allison in the prairie. That's another massive ocean of something. There's something that makes you feel very, very small about prairie too. And somebody needs to look harder, and you might see the ice wall. Is it that's got to be from something? I'm feeling like, and I think I saw your vert from that you found on the beach, the dark thing, and the flat Earth. Yes, exactly. Yeah, pumpkins. Oh, the pumpkin festival in Half Moon Bay. That was like our thing since I was like a little kid. I mean, some of my first memories were going and, sitting on top of pumpkins there. That was such a good thing. Could have chosen to be stationed in Hawaii when I was in the Navy, but didn't. How come, Jeff? How come no Hawaii? It's really interesting to live on the coast. Good things and bad things. This is I don't know if this is backwards to you guys. It might be. I probably so this is Roadside Geology of Oregon, and it's a good thing that I didn't have this actually open when we were driving down the coast, or we probably never would have made it to where we were going. I was actually doing a rendezvous with my brother. And that's why we missed Greg. Where's Greg? Greg doesn't seem to be in the house. And so I maybe he's got a rock club meeting, but we missed him because I had to rendezvous with my brother. And it turns out that, like, again, there's who said stop every half mile. I think it was Squirrel. Yeah, I realized that we had driven by a bunch of stuff that was in the book that I really, really needed to see. And so I will be going back down very soon so that I can go have another look. And I think I might have gotten pictures inadvertently of some of the geology. But at any rate, if you're traveling anywhere, the Roadside Geology books are an incredible companion. If you're, who are we? We're interested in rocks, right? And so they'll lead you to some of the cool things to see. And it makes for some darn good storytelling about your whereabouts, because of course all that geology is telling you this historical story that is so compelling about where you are and why it's doing what it's doing, and how come the colors are changing and that sort of thing. I'm trying to also keep up with the chat. And so you guys, if I miss something important that you said, keep on saying it. Just bash me over the head with it or something, because I'm not trying to ignore anybody. It's just that it goes fast enough that I'm just like holding on for dear life here. And so Jeff said that he could have chosen to be stationed in Hawaii, but so he was an air traffic controller, and the school instructor advised him to take Pensacola because it was a pilot training base and it would give him more experience. That makes perfect sense. So that is really intense that you were an air traffic controller. Isn't that one of like the kind of like postal worker jobs where it's a super intense job? Good on you, man, because we need them, obviously. And so that sounds like a very interesting job at the very least. I am a total, I love planes, like what with the aerophile. I used to go and haunt the Pima Air Museum all the time, and we have the McMinnville Air Museum here too, and like I love that. So that must have been a really, really cool job just for what you'd get to feast your eyes on. The book is right. Hey, AL Gold Prospecting is in the house and says that the book is right. You need more rock books, don't we all? And currently Rock Hounding, I think, has on the website a great list if you're looking for more. And wow, Rocks Out of a Glacier. Allison, that is so cool. For the Southeast, says AL. I'm catching up on the chat, you guys. And then we'll move into going through some opals. How about it? And I will, as we're looking at the opals, I'll get you caught up on the stuff that we did the last time, like the fossils. And so Highway 1, possible during the, yeah, no kidding, Gems of Hope. And I guess apparently now it's like as bad as ever, that if you get backed up trying to, depending on if you have to hang a left or a right, south or northbound to get up over the hill to the Half Moon Bay Pumpkin Festival, or I guess the one also, just forget about it. We always took the inland route and popped over, and we'd sing the whole way. We were so excited. Good memories in the old Fairmont. Ford Fairmont. Smithsonian Air Museum. Oh my gosh, they wouldn't ever get me out of there. Ken, yes. That would be so exciting. But we had the Boneyard there in Tucson, the Pima Air Museum and the Boneyard, and so cool. All right, and we love opals, and so yes, I did. I said Ford Fairmont. I did. We had a Fairlane too. But yeah, those are some also things that date a girl a little bit. And San Mateo. San Mateo was my very first gem show ever. As a youngster, my mom took me along to the San Mateo show, and my grandfather tucked some money into my pocket so that I could buy things, and that's how I got started. And Jackie lives next to Fairmont. Excellent. My first proper car was a fastback, a Volkswagen fastback, but that one and I didn't work out very good together, and so I ended up with a Ford Fairmont instead again. So they run in the family. Okay, so how about that for tangents, Lisa? Did we do good? I'm gonna see if I can't get this arranged before we move the phone. I'm gonna try to be a little bit slicker about this. Yeah. There. Okay, are you guys ready? Oh, you're East Bay, Kirk? Very cool. San Mateo was your first college. Nice. Gotta love it. Yeah, I was I'm actually KFJC anybody? Um so I worked at Foothill College doing KFJC. My brother's still there. He's the manager of the radio station, and so he brought me this and I can't seem to take it off. I love this thing. Oh, galaxies are so good. Oh, blind squirrel rocks. Yes. I wanted a galaxy so bad. But didn't ever get one. Who knows? But yeah, convertible? Are you kidding me? Okay, what else was said? That just caught my eye. Oh, 77 Dodge Monaco. Nice, Ken. Sweet. Going back up real quick. Um, yeah. Sweet, Lafayette. Yeah. Cool. You know what's funny is all the people from the Bay Area say Los Gatos, right? And there's other things like I don't know if I've mentioned this before. A dear friend that I got to know in Arizona actually ended up getting a gig at Santa Clara College there, the university philosophy person, and he said, "Oh yes, we are in Milpitas." I was like, Milpitas? What is that? Like, where in the world is Milpitas? And so that's always been a thing. It's Milpitas. Those of you who don't know the Bay Area very well, but like, it's amazing. You know, I get like saying Willamette wrong and some of the things that we have around here, but that one was really good. Maybe that's the right way to say it. You know, if you were using the Latin derivative. All right, let's dive into some opalness. Allison wrecked your Colt. Terrible, terrible. Okay, switching. All right, and then once I get this phone in, I'm supposed to switch and switch again or something, right? Or at least we can see how heinous things are first. I think I liked my lighting last time better. Okay. Do they still have the same Puyallup Fair song? Did I say Puyallup? Puyallup. Okay, so that's another word, isn't it? How do you Puyallup? So I guess all of the song helps you say that right. Say it right. Let's get some more light in here. Boom. There we go. Get rid of the circle. There. Okay, Lisa should poo wallop. Thank you. Phonics works for me. Chowda. Say it right. Chowda. Exactly. Lisa's opals. I've been trying to get to these guys for weeks. It's funny. My phone always hates me for trying to zoom in, and then you guys end up getting sick. So I didn't mean to just do like a Jefferson Airplane style show for you there. Okay, so this is what the rough opal looks like. And actually, let me disassemble something here really quick. And actually, we can even assemble that again in a little bit. And cliffhanger. I just got up to grab some tweezers. 33 minutes. Wow, really? It is. Oh my gosh, Ken. Yikes. Was some of that rock oriented? This is a hangout, right? How you drive 1 to 2 hours to do anything, go anywhere, and not blink an eye. Exactly. Now, after close to 30 years in Wisconsin, if we have to drive more than 30 minutes, we get annoyed. Hey, seize the day. Good to see you. Right, Gems of Hope? you can drive like the length of my town during the winter time in about 10 minutes. And during the summertime, it might take you up to a half an hour, 45 minutes because, yeah, the throng of people. But agreed. Agreed. Like the Bay Area, you just like, pop from the South Bay, like Cupertino to San Francisco is usually an hour on 280. And, it ain't no thing. Of course we're going up, to do the city or whatever. Or go over the hill to Santa Cruz on the 17. Okay. I want more light. So I'm going to get this circle in here, but we'll get rid of it. I just want to see if I can't get a little bit better light on this stone. It's a white-bodied opal, and you can see its brothers and sisters down there. And as you guys have already experienced with some of the other streams that are doing opals, sometimes it's really hard to get them to do anything for you on camera. But you can see this a very, very nice white-bellied. It's a jelly bean. I think that's why I had to say belly. White-bodied from Lisa. I think that she said that she thought they were from Lightning Ridge. I'm going to change my hand position so I can maybe give you some different angles on this. It's just not doing so good as far as finding the color in here, but it had some nice color. There's a big, huge red flash if I can get that to happen. And then if I move it, like, you guys, is this just abysmal as far as it's like the camera quality? Because if it's really bad, then I won't fuss. Oh, very milky. Super pretty. Yes, they are. Yes, she got them from Kate. So, Katie did, I believe, ordered a parcel, a rough parcel of opals. And I believe that because of Lisa, several different channels in the community have some of these. I really want you guys to see the red that came out in this one, but everything is feeling very, very pale in my camera. So you're gonna have to take my word for it. It presented with all the colors, and it's kind of a confetti pattern, except for it's got this big rolling red. I hand carved it, and that's why you saw some, I guess, kind of some lumpiness to the jelly bean. But I was showing you my carving station earlier in the Hangout. And one of the things that I like to do is carve them, and then I will build a piece of jewelry around it. And then after doing that, that's when I decide if I'm done polishing or if I want to go ahead and refine it more, or I might even just change the shape of the stone to fit with the rest of what's going on. So let me catch up here really quick. And with my hand behind it, you can see it well. Good. Okay, so I'll make sure to do that. Rufo definitely has some that have been doing nicely so far. Has Rufo finished any of them? Because I remember seeing them on a live that were unworked, and I just don't know if he's worked them. You see some yellow. Yeah, some little blue flash. And I do have a black background, Catfish. I love it when people get to be my brain for me. It makes things a lot easier. Sometimes it can be hard because this can wash us out a bit. Yeah. So I would have to adjust the lighting all over again. And it's interesting. It looks totally black when I'm looking at it with my eyes, but then you get to see all the lint that you missed. I used tape on this, and so it looks pretty clean until you get it in the light. Okay. Okay, you sorted the ones with color last week or so. I think I caught that one, yeah. All right. Okay, Christy can't chap, which I think is chat, but she's still here. Good to know. Bon appetit, Christy. So, I wanted to show you that, and then I've got this one here also. Oops. Okay, there's the bezel for that one, because I've already started to build a piece of jewelry around this little guy. So when you're working with opals, this is even a good size. You can see, like, relative to my fingers, how small this is. This is like a what, you know, a maybe 7mm by 6mm, maybe 8mm by 6mm stone. Not very big, but it's got some like super fun colors in it. And that's what I did, is I isolated the colors, and I was happy with, you know, there's some roll there. Showing off the opals is tricky. And then these ended up, I don't know if Lisa, you noticed when you were perusing the parcel, there's a lot of fracturing, but they seem to be healed fractures. Like I have some right there at the tip, and that's a healed fracture. I was like, okay, that's probably going to break off and it'll make a different shape happen. But yeah, didn't break. And actually some of those fractures have color in them. And so I've got another stone that I'm working on and that I'll show you here in a second that has some red going right through the fracture. And so, and it's not the kind of rainbow that's being thrown because of fracture. It's legit color. And so it's self-healed. And so that can be really tricky, because as far as like if you're trying to market something, you don't want nobody wants to buy a broken opal. In fact, that's like supposed to be super bad luck. Okay, zoom back out. Okay, so you guys are, oh, fingers. So we'll play with that in a little bit, because there's a story arc. Actually, opals are my favorite gem. Now I just said it, but I was reading Jeff saying it, which I would agree. Don't tell any of the other people. Now, as far as Lisa, like some opals, yeah. But one of the things about Australian opals is that as you kind of get better, better quality, you're looking for no fractures. To the extent of, you know, if I'm a high zoot lapidary, I'm not taking rough that is overtly fractured. And if I fracture a stone, or if the stone is fractured, I won't sell it. Like there's like just different levels, and it's totally acceptable as long as, one, you're forthright, and two, that it's a healed fracture and it's not something that is going to break on your client, because that's just a heartbreak. You know, those guys are buying expensive stuff. Let's see. And going back up, opals are gems, and they're the most beautiful. They're the queens. I agree. There's no two that are ever alike. They're fantastic. And I started to cast once we got into opals. Oh, that's what got you into casting. How cool. All right. Okay, so I wanted to, like, let's start off with this guy here, because it's going to be easy for us to look at. And let's see, I'm just trying to get some fuzz out of here. So this is a good, I'm wondering if I need to do the thing. Let's do this. Okay. zoom in. It's still crappy. Maybe if we're zoomed and we do it. Try that again. Aha! Okay, so these are the fractures that I'm talking about in this particular material, and you know, they can happen for a bunch of different reasons, different, you know, structural reasons, cooling reasons, all sorts of reasons. This is fantastic because, like I said, they are healed fractures. What's the difference, Karen? Well, the difference would be if your piece, your gem or rock, if the fracture is unhealed, then it runs the risk of when somebody's wearing it or when somebody's working it, it's going to fall apart. And so we don't want that. And so this is great because at the very least, I know that if I can get around some of the squirrely, like what might not be as pleasant to the eye as far as the fractures are concerned, then I have good stones. And that's why a lot of times your stones end up being very small. You're like, whoa, you know, I had a piece that was huge, like this one in my hand by opal standards, or, you know, several, like 10, 15, 30 carats, whatever. And it only merited a 5mm stone, or, you know, that's 7x6 or whatever. And a lot of times that's why is that you're working around what's not the best about a stone. Now this one, again, it's like I'm having one heck of a time trying to get you guys to see the color. There's color through this stone. And of course, daylight always helps. I think that as I'm moving it around, you might see into that there's like some flashes, but I'm looking on my big screen and I'm not really seeing it. But this one's got, like, I would say kind of a confetti pattern through it. And so I'm going to have to choose accordingly, like where am I going to cut it and how am I going to integrate or work away from the fracture lines so that somebody's stone looks more like, you know, the jelly bean that I showed you guys before. Because these guys, where am I? Where am I? Oh, there we go. Very, very similar. But, you know, I had to work to get to the color in this guy. And then I also had to work around the fractures. And so I got a small stone, but I'm really happy with the little guy that I got. All right, so trials and tribulations. Here's one that has some color that, now here's something I hope you'll really like. One that you can see the color in, because it is just screaming. And there's that purple. And I know that we were talking a little bit earlier about like what colors are you're more likely to find in your opals. And boy, I wish that purple was more rare, because this would be a wonderful stone if if purple were more rare, because it's predominantly purple. In fact, I think that I'm seeing just a little bit of green and a little bit of blue, but it's mostly purple. Now I've got 2 color bars here. What would you do? And we'll listen to some music, and I'm catching up on the chat here. Very expensive stuff. Exactly. It just goes through the roof when you have this stuff that is, you know, fracture free and ready to go. And that goes for all the different kinds of opal. If you're talking about the Lightning Ridge, Cooper Petty, Boulder, all of it. Yes, Sherman and Peabody. Or Rocket J Squirrel. So now here's something we hope you'll really like. Or was it? Was it the other guys? So, Queen of Gems. Yep. Saw the blue before. Yep. Watched the lady on TikTok that uses tiny bits and contours all the sand and fractures away. Yeah, I think that I might know that lady too from one of the YouTube channel's Facebook pages, like talk about a roundabout way. But she's an incredible carver. She always has really pretty nails too. The colors of the jelly bean, right? Oh, it just makes you want to eat it, huh? All right, that was. I'm holding that steady and letting it get dry, and you guys aren't seeing the colory, juicy goodness. Let me see if I can get closer even. Can we get closer? Will you allow us to see? Okay, so you see green everywhere and red in the middle of the jelly bean. Yes, cool. And nice ribbons on this one, yes. I love the purple. Purple is like among my favorite colors, and so yeah, I used to think that when I was buying opal before, as a younger person, that like, wow, I can afford the purple stuff, which in the gem world, the purple stuff has the tendency to always sort of be more expensive, it seems like. An angle to see both. Can one be on top and one can be on bottom? Oh, I see what you're saying. Cut for both color bars. That could be pretty tricky, but it would be an amazing piece now, wouldn't it? And then set it in such a way that everybody's being presented. Bowinkle and Rocky. You got it, Bob. Awesome. I like the idea, Jackie. Tube of opals for me. Lisa, I love you. And we need to build you like a peridot and opal ring out of your material. I think that would be fun. You scrolled past and never found her again. Let me see if I can. I'll look up the person that I think you might be talking about, Jackie, and I'll leave you a link in a message. And then maybe we'll both jump for joy because I love watching that lady's stuff. It's awesome. Okay, catfish. Use my flat lap to cut my opals. Yeah, I if I'm not using a rotary tool, I'm using my flat lap. But boy, you have to be so careful. Like people like Justin, who are on Black Opal Direct, like sitting up to a great big wheel machine, like you got to be so confident because the material goes away so fast. That I like to be a little bit more conservative about what I'm taking away so that I can keep track of, like, am I ruining this stone or not? Now, I'm feeling like the lower color bar is the strong one. And I think I'm seeing some different colors in the lower color bar that might not be happening so much in the higher color bar. And so... I'm a master of things that are tricky. How did I get that title? Thank you. So I think I might go and cut, Aussie Opal God, right? Jeff, we can talk about maybe who to get from if you are having any trouble with that. Because I know it's hard. I like going to Gem Show and choosing myself, but if I can't go, then you got to know somebody who can send you the stuff, and so we can talk if you'd like. So I'm here I've got my cutter. I'm thinking cutoff wheel, like take some of that away so that I can get near the color bar. And then I'm going to go ahead and you can see the color bar comes all the way around. Actually, you can't because I'm not holding it right. We see some blue and some green in there, which is awesome, along with the purple. I don't know if you guys are seeing that too. And it travels all the way around. That's like, I jumped ahead of myself and I didn't point that out first. That's what you want to, you're looking to see if it's a squirrely color bar or if it's a straight color bar. And those of you who watch your, Black Opal Direct or, a Pulitzer or any of those guys, you've already learned this stuff. I'm reiterating stuff that I've only learned. It's not like I'm inventing anything. And so maybe if I cut it here, then I get to reveal that bar, and I have options. The other way I could deal with it is I could cut it down the middle here, and then I would have these two stones. It's a little bit more dodgy, like risky, but I would have two stones, two instead of one, which is nice. This color bar seems to roam up this way, and so that's a smaller stone altogether anyway. There's not a whole lot of base. As to Jackie's potential having, two stones, well, look at how much like of an angle there to get into the other color bar. That this would not be backed, and so in a lot of ways that wouldn't work for somebody who's not setting this themselves. Me, I get to make that choice if I want, but it's almost angled like a faceted stone, and so you'd have like a little color on this side at the peak and then a big flat area. And so I don't know, I'm like, now I'm thinking I should probably cut right there and see what I can salvage from that and get into this, because I need to make a back. I don't want to lose too much stone. Try for 3 pieces. I could. I just don't, one of the things that I personally like to do is get a look at what's going on. And then I can judge. And so I like to get to the color bar before getting too committed as to what the stone has to be shaped like. Because you might get there and there might be a big splotch of sand right through the middle of it, and you went all in on one shape and don't have any options. Now, I think it's with this one. Oh yeah, there's also some color right there. I know the gold is flashing in the camera. Let me see if I can twirl it around. There's like a bunch of confetti, so there's rolling and some kind of confetti color just right there. So there are big sand patches around it, but that might be something that, even if it's a small stone, guys, like even if, just like that stone that I was just showing you, even if it's just that big, that's still an accent stone for a ring or something like that. We're gonna have an illustration of that here in a little bit. So I can't wait to work with this stone, because I think that it's gonna merit some nice stuff. And it's deep enough that there are some really, really nice options through the stone. So does anybody know Damien Spark? Well, I'm reading back through the comments. Was watching the Blacklighters live, and he contacted me from there. Oh, cool. I don't know Damien. You can see that there's color beneath they windowed this one. They probably saw that there were like those healed fractures. I think this parcel all probably came from the same immediate area, maybe in the mine, because it all seems to have the same sort of little healed fractures. But you can see body color through there, like some sort of bluish purple, right? And this is good because, even if it's kind of just body color, you're still into like some fun stone. I don't see color bar yet, but that's why I'm probably going to have to do some digging. And you can see that they like saw some fractures, and it's divoted with a bunch of sand. So throw that one into the, big parcel of, like, I would say kind of gamble rough, which is super fun. I love, being the one that gets to go through and find the gem that's, hidden in the rough. It's so much fun. So Chris has worked some good opal. They're really good. Excellent. Jackie knows. Trustworthy. Nice. I have found much more color than expected. Hey, Rufo is in the house. Did you hear your ears burning or feel your ears burning because you were hearing us talking? Yeah, I was just talking about you having some of these as well, and I was wondering if you had worked any of it. Next week, showing how much color, and you have been working them in the background. All right, cool. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what you get. And so again, this guy having some apparent body color that you can see, and so I am hopeful about this one. I might get several stones out of it because you can see how uneven it is, and that there are these sand divots. And so I'm probably going to end up having to parse this into a few stones, especially, working around the fractures and stuff like that. But I find that like body color stones work so nicely for earrings and that sort of thing. Stuff that you like. I love putting and tell me if you feel this way. I love putting the really flashy opals into rings because I want to look at it. And so would anybody who bought it, right? I always say that necklaces and earrings are for those that are looking at you, and the bracelets and rings are for you. Like, you get to admire the beautiful gemstone. And so let's see. I've forgotten who's flashy in this pool. Here's another body color one, actually. I took a quick glance through just to find the ones that I wanted to work on yesterday, and that's how I got those that I'm showing you, the little jelly bean and the little triangle. So this one, it's hecka fractured, very lots of fractures, but it's got some super body color. Let's see if, yeah, that's kind of cruddy, isn't it? I'm trying to get some fidelity for you guys so that you can see what I'm talking about. So this is like, that's darn near jelly opal. And so I'll see what I can get out of this. I think that you might have seen these guys when I was grabbing the triangle. So all those little 5mm jellies, I bought those, but there's a place in the world for those. They make great, again, great earrings and rings that, it goes along with, say, another gemstone like a sunstone. And so even a small opal. Oh, there's a flash. Hello there. Look at it waving at us. Like, so that, for instance, would be something that I'd want to isolate. Like, I'd probably go for that. Like, there's your stone. Yes, it's small, but does it have body color? Yes. It looks like it appears to have gel. And then if I don't know what else is going on in there, but that's flashy. And so I'd probably pursue that and see how far that, takes us. Sometimes there's nothing. Sometimes there's something. I think this is another one that's it's going to be a mystery until I start getting into it. So both the jelly bean and the little triangle, those guys were kind of mysteries, and I just started to grind ever so softly. It's kind of like this, where there might be some hints of some stuff going on, and so you just start taking the material off and seeing how the color is presenting. And sometimes there's surprises, and sometimes you are so bummed out because really nothing happened. There's a little bit of color in this one, but I know that there's more. I can feel it. Can you feel it? So I'll just take the cap off and probably this one too, and start kind of foraging around for the color bar. Do I got my loop? I do. I think somewhere. I'm like somewhat unsuccessful sometimes with the loop thing though. My dirty loop. Let's see. Is that better or worse? Oh, you gotta hold it at the right. Length out. This one has like, it swirls. You can see there's like some purple and it has a very uneven color bar. And then, you know, a bunch of these little fractures to deal with. But I'm intrigued. I'm excited. Like there's just going to be the name of the game with these guys is that there's going to be foraging for color. So here's one that I got started. I saw some color right away. Okay, let me catch up while you guys have a look at this. Make sure that it's in view. Okay, you can see I'm at the point where I have a conundrum that I'm gonna ask you guys about, but I'll try to show it off here first while I'm catching up on the chat. Da, 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 da. Okay. Oops. I think I need to pay attention to when I'm moving things around too. It's amazing how much lint we have in our lives. Oh yeah. Yeah, lots and lots of fractures in this one, but some nice rolling color. Yeah. And so there's some purple and some blue and some really nice golds and greens and stuff like that. And you can see that they are, let's see, they're traveling through, they are traveling through an area right there. Down to here. Although when I finish shaping, that's probably going to be bezel land, so that's sad. You know, that's bezel will probably come up to where that red is starting to present. Dough. Some more right there. It's down a bit lower. And so that, like, this one might require a little bit more digging to get to the color, and yet this might disappear if I take that chance. Let me get that wet again. So I am super intrigued by this one, but I stopped because I was like, I don't know where I'm going. There's some right there. Do I dig deeper to get into that? You saw some flash right there. That's deeper. So it's feeling like, you know, it might want to go to, look at that red. Ew. It's like nicer from the side. That makes me sad. So this would probably, you know, even though, you know, opals are fairly not tenacious for being like, say, ring stones and that sort of thing, but I liked putting them in rings so that you can check them out. And this one would definitely be one that wants to go in a ring, only because like you need to move it around to get the roll, or I have to isolate it, which if I isolate it, I would probably isolate it on that line and this line, you know, to keep the fracture out of it, and then probably end with that line. And I'm sorry I'm messing up your view to illustrate that, but you can kind of see why. And it's sad because I'd lose a lot. Look at all that flash right there, like where I, you know, was just talking about maybe losing it. You know, I might follow that line instead. You know, and even if I like, okay, so if I cut so that I could allow for a bezel to come around and cover up a little bit of this. So, you know, like it's okay that it doesn't have a whole lot going on in that whole area right across there, because, you know, it's just going to facilitate the bezel. Then probably come back and, you know, do something kind of parallelish through here. Or one of the things that I've loved the idea of if like I kind of do that, I might do like a crescent and throw a gemstone like right there once it's cut. I don't know if you guys can see what I'm talking about, but when I'm doing the lapidary, who else in the house does this? While you're doing the lapidary, you are definitely thinking about what kind of setting, and then also what would not only make this stone the best it could possibly be, but also how you get the most out of the stone, you know? So you want to be the stone's best pimp, but also like how to cut it so that, you know, it's gonna give you the most also. So anyways, it's got stunning color. And that's what's so, it's heart-wrenching. Honestly, it's heart-wrenching because sometimes you have to make these sacrifices. You guys have all watched Justin do it, where, you know, oh, it was really big or it was really good, but like the only usable part is over here or whatever. I like that one a lot too. Yeah, the yellows are off the Richter good. Like that is like such a sunny stone. It might have to go with something like a sunstone or a citrine or something like that, something that's going to set off that color. And that's another thing, you know, I'm always thinking about like, okay, lapidary for the setting and lapidary for the jewelry design, but also what cool stones might match it. And so I was talking about a crescent. This black opal, I cut this one, and this is a lightning ridge black, and I cut it in a crescent because it needed to be that way. And so let me just knock everything so that you guys bounce. And so there I go again. So what I'm going to do here really quick is, okay, whoa. Pan out. There we are. Okay. Wow, that's just like the black is harshing. It's because of all the lighting, huh? Okay, how do I change this so that it's working? That just washed it out so hard. But I'm still just looking for a I'm gonna show you a what if here real quick. I'm gonna put this down for a second. Need octopus arms. So you've got something like that. And what if we put something that's round? Work with me. Work with me. You know, doesn't have to be that big, but like, oh my gosh, so too much light. Is there a possibility of too much light? I think so. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna adjust this so that you're not just looking at like some washed out thing. It's this one. Wow. How is that too much light? Not enjoying that. Oh. Oop. What did I just do? Yeah, it's that one. Turn it off. All right. Huh, maybe regular light for this. Well, it just wants to wash out so bad. There you go. Is that better? There. So that's just the I guess what I'm illustrating here is the approach to how we're looking at these stones. How are we going about looking at these stones? Wow, I can't believe how washed out that gets. Gonna have to talk to Kyle about how he shows stuff off and doesn't just blast it. See, angle Okay, I'm catching up here for a second. Actually, maybe I could just turn these off for that moment. You guys can gaze upon that. See, look at, like, it fixed itself for a minute. It's like my phone wants to do that. I'm not entirely sure why. Okay. Depends on what the stone shows me and where to go. Exactly, Bob. Totally. I'll have stuff sitting around, and then there'll be that moment where, like, oh my gosh, it doesn't want to be. See, look at how much nicer that is. I'll just leave my hand there. Let's enjoy that for a second. You know, because that has like some really nice body color. This is what I was talking about if you didn't know what I was trying to refer to. Some opals, they're based on like flash, like there's all this wonderful different colored flash in them. And then sometimes, you know, it's about the body color. And then, you know, you're really on fire if you have both fantastic body color and you've got a bunch of flash. This one's got like a little bit of purple, a little bit of blue, and a little bit of green flash with, you know, some, I just absolutely love that like ultramarine, oceanic body color that it has. And then I'm gonna, it's like if my hand is there, it wants to behave, so I'll just be captive. So here's a carving that I did. I think you guys have seen this a few times. So like Bob was saying, like something I'll shout out like, yeah, you know, I want to be with this opal, or no, I actually would rather be with that, or oh, that one is okay, but like it needs something else. Like, let's see, I've got another little guy right here. And so what happens if we put, you know, a little guy down here? And it, you know, the bail is up here, and well, that wouldn't be ugly. This is the part that like both of the lights are off now, Gems of Hope. I actually turned them both off. This is us without lights, but there's something about when I put my hand in it that like my phone seems to like it better. I don't know. Or I guess the light that's coming through the window might be getting blocked a little bit, and there's really not that much light. So at any rate, it does enhance the colors so much. So Ken is, oh, free samples, squares of carpet. That's awesome. For your display cases. That sounds very cool. That is like a first class tangent too, which is totally associated with what we're talking about. Yeah, the angle. Again. Yeah, that hand in the frame helps for some reason. Distant lighting and a cut obsidian slab that hasn't been sanded. Okay. Kyle, I like that. I will be cutting some obsidian over the weekend, and I don't. Yeah, I guess the lights just need to be farther away then, or do you have them diffused as well? Because these are obviously throwing rings as well as a bunch of light. Block the light. Yeah. The changes the contrast on the phone. That makes sense. So yeah, it's just this is, so you know how, I don't know, guys and girls, but I know I'm guilty of, you know, when I'm putting together an outfit, this is gonna sound petty, but you try it with a bunch of different things, especially if you've just gone shopping and you have a new thing to add, like shoes or something like that. And then you start just playing with like, okay, well, I like that, but what if, you know, where's my bean? What if I, like, that's an agate that I carved. You know, would the bean be cool there? I don't, nah. But what happens if it came down here? I don't know about the balance. No, that's not really happening either. But the like kind of the fun of jewelry design is taking the little pieces that you, especially if you are the lapidary, or you know, if you found it too, and assembling like how they're all going to play together nicely. I got a comment actually on one of my last videos today, I think. So a smaller stone, I think I like better with that, you know, not like a big sunstone, but like a small one. And then I was talking about being able to carve, and you can carve whatever shape you want. Like that is a confetti, like light green bodied opal. Let me find some. You can see the sort of mint green of it, but are we focused? And then it also has some little bit of confetti. Well, I carved this crazy shape because I know I want to make a crazy piece of jewelry with, like, you know, almost like how you would go about inlay or intarsia, like just doing something that kind of fits together. Oh man, this focus and color situation is abysmal. I promise I'm going to get better at this, guys. So at any rate, jewelry design by way of what the rocks gift you. And yeah, over here I had this piece going. So that little triangle that I cut yesterday, I was so excited about it that I right away wanted to see what might go nicely with it. And I'm trying to get the sunstone back on. Like I just have these little round pedestals because you either will set it on you'll set it on a sorry, distracted there for a second. You'll set it on a pedestal with prongs of some kind, like you build a basket, or you make a tube setting for guys that are this small, and so still you'd need a little round pedestal like this guy. But it, like, first and foremost, it gives you a chance to stand up the gem so that you can have a look at it, just like, you know, how you have like the little round holders for the spheres and that sort of thing. So just makes sense to have little helpers around. And it doesn't, I need some of the rubber coated tweezers like what Kyle got. Make life a little easier. I'm going to try to get this guy back on the base. But this is going to be a ring, and the two triangles are going to set like so and like so. Come back there. And this guy is going to sit in the middle, and it's going to be a 2-to-1 ring. There. So that's the setup. Now, there's this white opal, and then this one down here is a boulder opal, also from Australia. And I thought that, like, what a fun ensemble that would be. And the 2-to-1 band that I was just talking about would be like this guy. So 2 to 1. And so I just set this guy, I think 2 days ago, back in the studio getting some setting done. You know, we go through these niptions of okay, a bunch of cutting, okay, a bunch of polishing, okay, a bunch of like, let's fabricate now. And so I'm on the fabrication jag, trying to get the spring collections, the new body of work onto the website. And so actually, this is a Boulder Opal doublet by Nick Hoops. And Jeff, he's one of the guys that I would recommend. So one of the things that is often done in jewelry for opals is that you show your back so that people know that, like, okay, this is, I'm proclaiming that it's a doublet, But there's your boulder. That's how fat the gem is, and so the buyer knows what they're getting 100%. You'll hear some opal setters saying that they wouldn't dare set an opal without showing its back, because buyers want to see that. And then of course that's a faceted sunstone that I did. And so this is the fun part, playing dress up with the gems. This one will be set up the same way. Two will come from the two opals, and then it'll be one goes into the sunstone. Fun. So those are the opals. Let's see. I'm catching up on the chat again. The colors. I know. Choosing an outfit for me is what's on the top of the drawer, or the first shirt in line that's hanging up. Yeah, I totally hear that. That's usually my household accoutrement. But yeah, when I used to have to work at the gallery, I used to have to dress, and I'll admit that was kind of fun, and having some flair and style to it. Good fun. Let's see. Did work last week. Opals on the obsidian chalkboard. I think I saw that actually. That cool setup where you can just draw straight on with the graphite. That made all sorts of sense. I might actually do it anyway. Yeah, there it is in the next line, and you can write on it with a pencil. I could write you guys notes. That opal would be cool with another white opal cut to yin yang with it. Yes. Oh yeah. Are you talking about the blue bodied black opal from Lightning Ridge? That would be gorgeous. I love the idea. And that's one of the things that you can do too, is like I mentioned, inlay or intarsia. You can totally carve things that fit together like puzzle pieces and do something crazy stuff. Heat up some hot glue, tip the tweezers. Oh yeah, that's right. Hot glue. You know what's funny is I do not currently own a hot glue gun. I have no idea. I think I loaned mine out or took it to like a big, like a big maker event where everybody was doing stuff, and it's gone. So I might buy the tweezers instead of the hot glue gun. I need both. So pretty drool. Liquid tape works well also. Oh, that's a good one. Okay, gang. Ken is out. Thanks for hanging out, Ken. Have a great Memorial Day weekend. Stay safe. All right. And so anyways, there's that. I think that real quick, I wanted to bring out the color, or rather the light bar, and just spy a couple of emeralds. Next time, I was going to show off a little bit of boulder opal rough. So Lisa, you were talking about fractures. Boy howdy, right? And so you can see with this boulder opal rough how much I'm going to need to work around, but look at all the color. But that's to me like what the fun is I want, I have to be the sleuth. Like, am I going to have to make little tiny rectangles out of these guys, or am I going to get past this here, and is there some more of that just inside? I don't know. You can see kind of what's going on as far as the width of the color bar. They're different animals. They're both opal, but boy, going from boulder to the Lightning Ridge or the Cooper Petty, it's just such different animals. This is a mess. This is so outdoors. But does that fracture go all the way down in? Because if it's a surface fracture, then I might have like a fairly large stone here. That one I suspect goes all the way through, but this right here will make a very, very pretty stone. And this guy is such a good color. Another thing about boulders, how deep does it go? Like, will that survive a full polish? A lot of times when you look at boulder opal finished, I was showing you some last time, some of my finished ones, they have different terrain changes. Oftentimes they're not finished like your usual cabochon. They'll follow the terrain, and it's acceptable in boulder opals to follow the terrain because you know that you're just chasing that opal, and you're hoping to preserve as much of it on top of the matrix material as possible. That's generous enough to take a polish for sure. I just don't know about this pool right here. Does it go underneath there? I'm looking at that material right there, and I have suspicions that maybe it does. Maybe it dives down. We have like some more right there. So how far does that glass go? We've got some more over here. This great big divot. Who knows how that happened? Maybe when they were extracting this piece. You can see that I've cut pieces of this off already because there was like this whole just big wash. This is about twice as big as before, and I cut some great stones off of some of the rest of this, but it's got these fractures that have gone this way too, and so I cut it on a fracture near here, and I cut it on a fracture near there, and you can see the remnants of that there. I'm gonna catch up with the chat really quick while you look at some of the lighting here, or colors here. I'm gonna turn this off to see if we can see more color. Yep. Change the temperature. Turn it off. Off. Huh. I don't know if that's better or not for you. Yeah. So I was just reading, Gems of Hope was talking about Kyle maybe doing some, making a video of filming opals. Oh man, I think that a lot of us could benefit from an informative video on kind of making the most of some different setups to try to get better footage. That would be really nice. So can't imagine how many thousands are that chunk of boulder would cost, and the body color. This one actually wasn't that expensive. I believe this is another chunk that I got from Nick Hoops, name dropping. So you guys that are shopping, go after Nick. So anyways, there's that. There's a little bit there that I might be able to chase when I'm salvaged. This color here is from my saw. So yeah, I just wanted to show you a little bit of like the difference. Here's some more material that I need to chase. And again, this is like such rough terrain that I'd probably end up with some finished pieces that had some hills and valleys for sure, just to keep the material. But yeah, lots of blue, lots of purple in this one. More sort of like the body color. In this case, not as much like big flash, but such the pretty color. In fact, I've been whittling away at this one, and it's got some really deep divots that make parts of it really challenging. And so you can see that, just because of that and that, like, a stone gets isolated really quick into something smaller. And thusly it's stayed this way because I really enjoy looking at it. And, right now it's like a specimen in the gallery that I just love to feast my eyes on. Light bar. Let's get on with it. Get on with it. So, yeah, that's why opal's my favorite, you guys. Blueberry pie. Yeah, I also very much associate food with the rocks. Okay, let me turn that down a little bit. So I'm gonna turn this light back on. These are, oops, that is not an emerald, but these guys are these low grade emeralds that I got a ton of time ago. And so these I purchased. They're all rose cut. I purchased them in Tucson, and you can see that they're not super high quality, but I was interested in them, and they were affordable. And so what's going to be fun is that I've been sitting on them for this whole time, and now I facet. And so guess who's going to get a recut? Like every single one of these stones. And there's going to be some that are going to be great for practicing on, and then some of them that would be great for actually making a decent gem out of. Okay, so Gems of Hope is saying I would just cut it out from the rock as much as possible, cut to size, shape, and leave it raw in the jewelry piece. Yeah, that's a definite possibility. Are you talking about like the whole slab? Gems of Hope? Should I just like leave that whole thing like huge? That would be quite the piece of jewelry. That would be an amazing statement piece that I would probably have to keep. So the reason why to have the light box out for this is I wanted to be able to gaze into the opal or the emerald to see where we are at with the quality so that I can parse them into I'm gonna cut ya right away and practice on you, or I'm putting you aside because I want to be more talented by the time I get around to you. I'm going to lift this up a little bit higher, and then I can also lower this down so that we can kind of get an eye full of these emeralds. Who loves emeralds? I don't know if that fidelity is all that rad. They kind of look gooey, huh? Maybe that's just the way that the phone is dealing with the light. Yeah, interesting. So move you over a little bit. I will admit that I just don't know that much about emeralds, and I'm a beginner when it comes to faceting. I'm excited to try some new and colored stones though. And so these intrigue me. There's a lot of particulate in these, but I've been eyeballing what other people are cutting, and that doesn't worry me, especially considering, my beginning. Like I won't be, just torn up if I ruin a stone. So you can see that this isn't very deep. So whatever I choose to do with this stone needs to be a fairly shallow design. And I might try like a straight up emerald cut with something like this. But that actually is pretty clear. I'm kind of surprised at how clear that guy was, other than the particulates as far as inclusions go. I thought it was going to be a lot more fractury, and it doesn't seem to be that bad. So you can see what a terrible facet job. This is why they were affordable for Karen and Tucson. Yeah, which is kind of funny. I'll bring this down so we can get a better, like now the light is actually conducive. So you can see that there's like an inner inclusion there. How interesting. So this one, but it is deeper. And so that one might want to like sacrifice some of this dark stuff down here. Oh my gosh. Other than remembering that they're from Tucson, I want to say India and or that I got it from an Indian dealer. I used to work with the Indian Gem Association each year, and so I had a lot of ones that I would go to, and yet, I was not very money having, and so I'd get what I could. Um, so let me catch up really quick with the chat as we're so both of these, I think that both of those would make great beginning stones for me to play with. Um, da, 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 da. More than one piece of opal jewelry. LOL. Do you remember what country those emeralds are from? So both Gems of Hope and Sonia wanted to know, and I absolutely don't. Like, I think I acquired these, like, I know it's been at least 25 years. So, and I probably had about three times as many, and worked them and set them, but not as a faceted gem. And look at how deep this one is. I so wish I remembered, guys. I'm sorry. There seems to be a fracture right there. Like right there doesn't help you guys. That line might be danger. Otherwise this was a pretty good looking stone. Like why did it make this, this pile when the people were cutting this group? They've got enough inclusion as far as their color goes that, yeah, they're not totally clear. So they're that low a quality as far as the emerald goes. But as far as something that's facetable, having a lot of potential, I'm wondering if you guys see that too. That those lines, it looks like maybe there are two parallel lines, need a proper pointer, that run down towards the nose of the stone, kind of in an arc, little less than straight. That might be danger too. So this one might be and I mean that's obviously fractured right there, and so there's some problems with this stone. But I will tell you what, oh my gosh, is that a big problem? I'm gonna have to get my loop out and really have a good look at it. This might be absolutely unworkable. I don't know if that's all fracture. I'm not touching it. Let's see. You really need to see the little emerald crystals that Kyle has for sale. I have actually, and they're from an African country. Yeah, a lot of those guys. I was looking at them and I was considering it, but right this second, I think I want to try with. I want to ruin some stones that I have before I get some stones specifically to cut for faceting, so that I don't ruin stuff that I really love. Because some of those were just beautiful, like some subtle colors, but the colors were so pretty. And so, yes, I was like very tempted. And so I'd say two beginner stones, check, and one like looks like I might have a like either a great time or a really hard time, because that is so deep. I could wrap my 2 millimeter dop around that bad boy and have such a good time. And I think I was just starting to say I love cutting small stones, and some people hate it. And I don't have a problem there at all. I think it's really fun, and so I don't mind that these are so small. Look at the color in that one. Ooh, so pretty. So I'm gonna be keeping that one until I'm feeling pretty darn good about myself. Again, because it doesn't have consistent color through the stone, they were like, meh. But, and it's not super clear, when you're seeing it lit from below, which you can see. But that's such pretty color, you guys. And so I have very high hopes for that one. And I think it would look great in either an oval, like to save its carat weight, another oval, or maybe a an emerald cut also. Because that I think that banding would be fetching even if it was like a a long rectangle instead of it being this oval shape. I mean, I don't even know if they spent like 10 minutes on each one of these stones, which is awesome. I have no idea why they're prepared the way that they are. This one's fairly clear, but it's unfortunately very shallow. Look at how shallow, but look at how clear that is. Lots of little inclusions, but like I said, I watch a lot of facetors now, and with a special interest in the emeralds, since I knew I was going to be embarking in them. And it seems like there's a fair amount of material out there that is acceptable, that has some inclusion in it. So you would just have to decide, like, do I like the color of that? And do I feel like those inclusions add character to the stone? Like, is that something, once again, in the jewelry making that you can maximize? Like, do I do a texture that mirrors the texture of the, inclusions of the stone? That might be kind of neat. So just talking about you, Kyle. That's all. Was volunteering a video idea. Okay, cool. Um, Kiwi. Oh, kiwi fruit. Yum. Yeah. Um, Pretty. Yeah. There is a fracture at the bottom. Good eye. Um, so that probably goes in the good beginner pile also. And look at this fatty. This is a fatty. Look at that. That has all kinds of body. It looks like there's a fracture running right through the middle. And maybe up there, like what is the top of the picture, not the top of the stone. But that lends itself to, I'll bet you, if I was really tricky, I could get 2 small stones. Cut it in half and get 2 small stones, because look at how deep that is. That's crazy. Now there might be a pair of earrings right there. I mean, and that's this is quintessentially emerald in color. Let me kill the light here really quick. The ones you have are from Nigeria. Oh, awesome. Okay. Let me see if killing the lights. Maybe I kill the other light. Seems like one light does okay. It's just that if I try to get it too lit up. Look at how, so we can see a bit of fracturing over there on the other side. So that you can see the part of the green that I'd really want to isolate. Like, I would do everything just to get that green, but look at how nice of a green that is. That is so emeraldy. That is just like sour apple green. Tasty. Yeah, center. Yep. And so that one, I think that I could get a 2 millimeter out of that, and I'd be super stoked. So I remember when Kyle actually had on the on shopping a while back, he had some sapphires, and just got a couple more, and then we're done with this. And some of them were really small, and like, not only do they make great companion pieces to larger stones, like if you're putting like an accent piece to what otherwise might be a solitaire or something like that. But just as, like, from the new perspective of making the gems, they're so precious. Everybody's precious. That little guy, that sapphire, those of you also that have been watching, Theo's channel or anybody's channel who has shown I believe Patrick also showed going through the sapphires from Montana and how small those guys are. And then to be a good enough gem cutter to be able to get a stone out of that is a like a small miracle. I'm stroking the backs of the other gem cutters. It's really incredible that can happen. So these last four are really actually quite nice. um I'm not seeing a whole bunch of fracture. Let's see if we can go down. Just a lot of kind of milky body color, but like look, oh, that might be a fracture right across the, like, let me look at that. But once again, like there's a 2 millimeter stone to the right, as a long rectangle, because we got a lot of depth there. So that's like the big make or breaker is you can have like the table side be big or small, but none of that matters if you don't have enough depth to make the gem. And so that one's fat, and so that would be fun. It's a very pretty color. This one's murky, got some dirt in it, but from this side looking pretty good. Little potential fracture going through the center once again, but plenty, like even fatter around than that one that we were just looking at. So again, easily another 2 to 3 millimeter stone right there. And part of it's not so deep. This part down here looking a lot better than that part up towards the top of it. Might have to, isolate just that and make a stone out of that. This is fantastic. Look at that. Fairly clear. Maybe a little bit of fracturing up there towards the top, but I think that this one's probably my best stone as far as quality goes. Like, that's a pretty little stone. Fairly clear. Not hardly any inclusions. The dirtiest job ever as far as a faceting job. You can see how just dirty, like they barely got like the matrix material off of it. Or the scrub or whatever that was around the outside. I think that there's a fairly decent gem right there, and I could probably cut, like, you guys have seen me cut a lot of standard round brilliance, and that's because I don't have a depth gauge, and that's what I can cut right now. That would cut an awesome standard round. It's kind of too bad. Like, I want to just do this one right now, actually. Last one. So pretty color. We have inclusions, but that might be superficial. It looks like a face. It's smiling at us, you guys. Hello. Pick me. So that's actually, if there's not, I'm not seeing a whole lot of fracturiness in there, just kind of inclusions, and is like muddy water as far as the green goes. So that might be a really good stone too. And it was smiling at us. So we'll have to get to you. We'll have to get to you soon. All right. So, emerald gazing. How fun. And I'm trying to think if there was business. Of course, hey, Kyle, are you still in the house? I am wondering, it is a holiday weekend. Are you still having your sale? And let's see. The chat here really quick, guys. That third one. Yep. I agree, Gems of Hope. That's going to be super fun. Yeah. Is there anybody out there that knows a bunch about emeralds even? I would love to. I need to learn definitely more about that. Um, you are having a partial sale. You just haven't announced it yet. Okay. So we got a partial announcement just now, I guess, a little bit, sort of. Did I let the cat out of the bag or what? Yeah, Gems of Hope says, yeah, you just did. You just did. All right. So let's see. Oops, that's the wrong one. Hold on just a second. Look at my light. Just gonna attempt to change this around here. Looks like I'm in a scary movie. I'm all below lit. Okay, so thank you for hanging out. This was super fun going through the emeralds and the opals, and everything takes so long. I always think like, oh, we'll just dash through that really quick and we can get onto like a jar of gems or something like that. And we did sort of tangent right there in the very beginning. We're so good at that. So let me know in the comments what you would love to see more of. I think I started to say it. Somebody on one of my hunt videos was like, it's really cool to see you finding all these stones, but what do you do with them? Like, I'd love to see more of your like crafting and that sort of thing. And it's funny because I feel like as far as the channel goes, that I do a fair amount of studio, like you got the faceting video, and you've got the video about preparing the shell, making the fossil shell into a prepped shell, and lots of shorts about jewelry. I just didn't know that people really wanted to see that. And so I thought, for the lives, we'd include a little bit more of that. Let me know in the comments what you think, that you'd like to see more of that, or on the lives you want to see just rocks, we want to just sort. I've had a totally mixed bag of feedback so far about like, yeah, we love to see the jewelry stuff. Yeah, we love to see the microscope. Yeah, we love to see the just the rocks. And so I would love to hear your preference, and it'll help me to know what we look more at. And the fossil update really quick is that we are in a stasis. I need to get some paraloid B72, and once I get that, then we'll put them back into the acid, but I don't dare give them another bath. So they're just like what you got to see a couple of weeks ago when we put the fossils in the acid bath. I took them out. I showed you guys. They're just hanging out. I put them back in the water so that it would stop the acid bite with some baking soda. And we're gonna prep those up, and we'll give them some more baths so that you guys can play along. Like you get to see the progression of those fossils coming out of the stone, or not. Like, they might just be a pile of rubble, like a yard sale. So we don't know. We'll see. And then we'll move on to some bigger stones, of course, or bigger fossils. So that all being said, I hope you guys all have a wonderful holiday weekend. Stay safe with all the Memorial Day hubbubbery. Definitely remember, it's what the Memorial Day is supposed to be all about. And so remembering all of those people that we should, for all the reasons that we should. And thank you guys, all that are thanking right now in the chat. I really appreciate you guys coming by and hanging on with me as I'm learning to read all the comments and keep up. And go check out the partial sale of Kyle's. I'll see you guys all there in the chat as well. And I appreciate all of your feedback. So that all being said, have a great weekend, and we will see you next time when we go live.